Well, there it is. Hey guys, this is Witty and welcome to a video about Dropzone. This video is sponsored, but my opinions are my own. The Commander Edition is what was given to me, which is basically access to 12 pilots and every pilot that is accessible past that point, because you can only have 12 right now, but there's going to be more in the future. There's other goodies as well. Check out the video description below and you can find out more, because there's other additions to purchase into. This is the greatest one there is. So, what is Dropzone? It's like an RTS slash MOBA where you control 3 different characters, each with different characteristics, and you battle against others. You can do this in 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, as well as multitude of different ways. There's currently something in development right now, which is solo infestation or co-op infestation. So that's where you can fight against hordes of the bad guys and try to see how long you can last for, keep your base alive, that kind of deal. Or of course you can just go straight up versus. Now you can do this versus AI, 2 versus 2, or even into ranked play and tournaments later on when they become available. For now, most people will stick with quick match, which just straight up puts you against a human opponent of a similar level of skill. Now there's also customs, so that could be done for tournaments and shoutcasts and that kind of stuff as well, so you can host up with your friends against computers or other players. So I'm going to jump straight into a game and talk a little bit more about this. So we're going to start with quick match. A match has been found and we're going to accept. Now my team is consisting of a tank, a DPS and a summoner. Now there's multiple different characters. Basically there's tanks, there's gunners, then you get a little bit more sort of like variety with summoners, healers and mechanics, and they kind of blend a little bit. You can have a summoner that is also a healer, but obviously, or you can go all the way full on summoner, or you can go 2 tanks, or you can go 3 DPS. It really is up to you how you want to play the game. Now I'm going to start off getting vision on my side of the team, and I'm going to do some light creeping on a safer spot of my map with my summoner, because she's able to spawn a bunch of stuff which makes her very good at basically creeping. Whereas the DPS is obviously good at picking off opponents, and she's, as long as she keeps using her ability, she can kind of solo creep a lot of the way. Now, what I might do actually in that case is actually pull my tank up to help out my DPS, because my DPS isn't quite so good at clearing out waves of minions, which these are. Now, why am I killing these? Well, 1, they give you experience, and 2, they actually also help you out by dropping a core. Now a core you drop into the middle, and this gives you points. Now there's also different ways to get points in this game, and those consist of like objectives or achievements, such as getting the whole vision of the map. So I've got someone trying to come up behind here, so I'm just going to try to protect that. He's pushing his luck, because on my side of the map I've got the healing, and so he has on his side, so I'm closer to my healing fountain if you want to look at it that way. I don't know why he's pushing his luck so much. I think he's trying to distract me, but I should be fine here. I say that very loosely because I'm not sure. That is one of my biggest gripes with this game, is because there's so many different characters and so many different abilities, you don't really know for sure what they have and what they do until you play the game for a ridiculous amount of time to know exactly what all of these abilities and such do. You'll get more of an idea when I talk about the whole build and stuff like that after this game, but for now I'm going to show you the gameplay, which I think is what you're most interested in seeing. So my purple character is the ones holding the cores. Now the guys holding the cores drop it into the middle to gain a point, and obviously there's a timer to do this. Now I don't want to engage with the enemy too close to his territory, especially if there's multiples of them, so we're just going to pull back now. He needs to hand in, which is going to cost him time. So what am I going to do with my time? Well, I'm going to go and creep. Now I'm going to take a more dangerous approach, which is to do this creep cam. So I'm actually going to try to pull and kill this guy fast. There's... oh, here we go. He spotted me. So that's the dangerous part, is they can take the credit. They can steal the kills from what you're putting down. So you want to kill and get experience, but at the same time you don't want to get ganked from behind, because then they're just going to take all the credit. So this is bad news for me, because I'm now blocked in a very horrible place. Even though there's only 2 of them, every time I walk past this guy he's going to attack me.
This is how it's done. Moving in. If that's what you want.
And of course, he's probably going to get away. Yep, they normally do. But fortunately, I should be able to take him out as well. So that's a little bit of redemption there. But you find that happens a lot. People can get away on like 1 health, which is incredibly frustrating. Get this handed in and go back for a heal. Be careful because he's going to try to gank me from above here.
I'm here.
I've got 4 seconds until my cooldown where I can jump and go back to my heal. Go back to my heal, he says. Alright, heal up, heal up. Don't let him take any more of your time. Keep an eye. Oh wait, get in there, get in there, get in there. Go, 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 go. Heal, 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 heal. Sit in there. Now, do we go back to this? Has he still got half his health or has he got all of his health back? No, he's got half his health. So we're going to go in here. We're going to level up our characters over time. Try to boost them up. Get in there. Grab the core and go. You're doing good. Right, let's move on to their territory now. So you're going to go over here. You're going to stand on the tower a little bit. The other one's going to catch up with you. She's going to drop a turret. She's going to do that. Recon's going to just catch up here. As soon as they get on the tower, he can move over because you only need 1 person on the tower at a time. He's not paying enough attention to that character. So whilst he's standing on it, I can't take the tower, but I am taking his territory, which gives me more fission. Now, I might be able to get the objective if I pull Recon back and try to get this fission as well. Oh, hello. I'm going to take that. That's a nice drop. He's getting his fission back on that tower, which is a little bit of a nuisance. Because, like I say, if you get all 4 towers... Stand here. If you get all 4 towers, then you get an extra 2 points. And there's a few other ways to get extra points, but I don't know all of them. But at the moment, that'll do for now.
Sure, that's right.
We'll just drop some more turrets there. Reaper's now got vision of that. We're going to come back to his main base, which is the worst place to fight in the world because, like I say, he's only an inch away from his healing. But if I get these towers before he gets that, I don't know if this is going to work. Come on. No, he's going to stop it, isn't he, just before I get there. So we're dicking around a lot here. But I want to try to get vision of all towers if I can.
Here I am. This is my chance.
Right. I think he's getting quite a bit of experience whilst I'm doing this, so I'm costing myself quite a lot here to try to get the extra points. Bear that in mind.
Listening through.
Ha! He eaten by Kavash, which means the bad guys, the boss at the top and the bottom. So this is very much the challenge of the game. I'm ready for the extra 2 points I'm just about to get. There we go, total fission. So 2 points. There's a few other ways to do it. So total fission, eradicate. So 1 point for destroying 100 Kavash units. So again, if you just creep hard, you can get points that way. Now he's waiting on his respawn, I think, a little bit. Yeah, just soften him up a little bit more. Come back down to the middle bit, and we'll start finishing off this creep camp. I'm going to call them creep camps because I'm very much relating to Warcraft 3 with a lot of this stuff. It's very much like creeping in Warcraft 3 to some degree, but there's so much micro and macro at the same time. Controlling 3 different characters with 4 different abilities each. That's if you choose to give them 4 different active abilities. They might be passive abilities. It depends which way you want to play it. I would honestly try to throw in some passives there, otherwise you're going to have such a headache trying to control all of this. But each character now of mine is 2, 2, and 3. Ah, I'm letting him pick up the drops. What am I doing? This is what happens when you talk whilst you play. Okay, well, time to go back and heal, because that was a good little catch-up for him. So we need to just reset the situation. Heal, heal, heal. And work out what we're going to do from there, because he's just got 2 drops. Because later on, when you creep, they drop different amounts. And I don't know exactly why that is, or when you know when that is. But for example, right there, when we killed that hive, what happened is you saw it dropped 3 clusters. They're going to call clusters. They're going to be called cores. Boss is slain. That means he's going to get a DPS buff. So we want to avoid him as much as possible and try to find something else to creep. So it's probably safest to just go over to the top right here. Each map lasts, I think, 15 minutes, at least in 1 versus 1. And you can see your frame rate, your MS, that kind of stuff, your squad level. So you can see he's actually like 3 levels above me, I believe. So that's a bit of a predicament. So again, another huge reason why I would want to avoid him and concentrate on creeping. Not to mention the fact that I have a summoner hero, so she's much better suited to creeping, whereas I don't think he does. So you want to pay attention to what archetype of units that your opponent has. So do they have all DPS? Do they have all tanks? What's that all about? What does that mean? And there's quite a lot of depth to the game because of that. But at the same time, like I say, it comes back to this frustration thing where you just like, you almost just want an exact mirror match where you both have exactly the same abilities. That way you can just start off that way and know what the hell is going on. Now we're healed up. I've got some hand-ins. He's going to want to stop me from handing this in whilst handing in his own stuff. But obviously I want to fricking get my hand-ins. So we're going to set up for a defensive. So a few turrets will do it. Make the use of my summoner hero. Okay, he can move in. Again, chuck some more stuff down whenever possible. Because your cooldowns, they don't cost mana, they just cost your cooldown. Just cost your time, which is a really nice feature of this. You don't have to worry too much about mana all the time. Now, if he tries to flank me from the back, I've still got those turrets over there. I'm just trying to distract. I can't get away with him, unfortunately. Ah, he's doing the old get away on 1 health thing. Cool.
I'm here. On my way.
Don't keep me waiting.
Alright, we'll just have to go back and heal now.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm listening.
Ready.
Listening true. Ready.
Looking for me?
Alright, 5-9, looking good. Just need to keep control and don't lose too much. Again, like I say, he's more powerful in these fights. I want to hand in though,
Sure, that's
so I want to do that as well.
Whenever you're ready.
What is it?
Still waiting on Recon to come back. He's now back.
This is my chance.
Now, the time it takes for your heroes to come back is dependent on the highest level hero that you have. I'm going to call them heroes now. They're going to be called all sorts of things during this. But she can hand in, so we're going to have tank and DPS up at front, just keeping them busy.
I'm here. Here I am.
Need some advice.
This is my chance. I'm here. Sure,
Right,
that's
coming
right.
back to heal. Tanks do a good job. So that's where it becomes complex, trying to control all different characters at once. And you don't want to mess it up, and it's so easy to do so. So 1 is my tank, 2 is my DPS, 3 is my summoner. That's the way I look at it. Now, if you press 4, you select all of them at the same time. You can tab in between to get all their different abilities. They work on Q, W, E, and R. So that's one way to look at it as well. Makes it a lot easier and simpler, especially when you keep swapping out new abilities and such. Okay, upgrade Pandora, because she's still only level 2. Try to get an even mix here. Now, the problem is he's going to come for a gank here, so I'm actually going to want to block off that access point, because I can't win in a fight. We want to kill this boss quick. Alright, hand in, take. Looks like I only got 2 from that one. So again, I'm curious as to what it is that gives you 2 and what it is that gives you
I
3.
understand. Ready. What is it?
Order.
This is my chance.
Try to hand in with my tank, because he's the weakest at the moment. So if I can pull him back as soon as he's handed in, that would be great. Now with my DPS, I actually prefer to have my summoner active, so I can drop the core, pick it up with my DPS and hand in with him, whilst the summoner is still able to use her abilities. Because whilst you're handing in, you can't use your abilities. This is at 1, 10, 11 at the moment.
Listening true.
Now, this has actually fortunately been a very close game,
Don't keep
but
me waiting.
I think he might be trying to get another achievement of killing all the bosses or something like that, which can give him points, I guess, but I'm not aware of those. Now, I've got no more to hand in,
Simple enough.
so we need to make sure that he either doesn't hand in or I find more to hand in myself.
Not a bad idea.
So let's see if there's any creeps here. Yes, there are. Pick up this tower because we're sick of him having vision of me all the time.
Orders?
You've got quick cast abilities, or you can either select them manually, however you want to do it. There's multiple ways to set up your combat in this game, and again, can show you more about it later on.
Ready to fight.
Happy to do so. Tank is just going to go to the middle here. Level him up one more time. Might be able to interrupt. No, it's too late for an interrupt. This might be a bad idea. Yes.
I'm about to die.
Yep, that was a bad idea.
Ready.
Okay. So he's going to get points, and then he's going to get 2 minutes. So basically, I want to get another 3 to hand in, so I can be 1 more point ahead of him when my tank comes back. So we want to finish off this creep camp. They get harder and harder as they go. So the longer you get into the game, the harder they go. But the game only goes up to 15 minutes maximum. It's kind of really annoying me that kids get enough vision. This one is taking a really long time to kill. Right. 2, 3, pull those back. When the tank comes up, he's going to pick up another one. Try to get over here. He can see, I think, on the map. That core is there. I think you can see on the map when any cores are left on the floor, so to speak. So get the tank to get that. Shift him over, because you can shift Q commands. And obviously now the key is this next fight that's coming up. I cannot afford to lose this, but he is 3 levels above. Try to spread your characters out. Just stay calm though. Again, I'm not exactly sure all of his abilities, but we'll try to...
Orders? I'm here. I'm listening.
Ready.
What is it?
Whenever you're
On
ready.
my way. Looking bad, Commander.
Yep, lost one of my characters unfortunately. That was a harsh gank.
Listening, true.
And he's still healed up, so probably going to lose this game because I just can't win these fights. It's not going well for me. Yep, dead, and then dead in a moment. So that's Dropzone for you, boys and girls. It can very easily go very harshly for you, and I don't really know what all of his abilities are until I'm more familiar with the game. But yeah, there you go. Good game, lol. That was actually a good game, but still, defeat is always fun. Right, there you go. You can see your abilities, the overview of the map, all the stuff that you gather at the end. Now, going into the build mode, you can see your characters. You can swap between them. You can change which hotkey you want them to be. Now, my main guy, he has the ability to have flamethrower as well. For example, let's have a look, shall we? So this is our tank. So we're going to look at all the tanks, the class. So we're going to scroll down to the tanks. Fires, Knockout, and Warhead. Yeah. So these guys, they've all got similar abilities to some degree, but they do have a bit of diversity in what they can do. Such as this. They're weapons. And the weapons sort of like create the... Well, they do literally create the creativity for the game, but at the same time, it makes it super complex when you're coming into this game as a new player, because you're just like, what the hell is that? Oh, what the hell just killed? I don't even know. And you just get a lot of that, I find. So, yeah, you're going to have to put a shit ton of time into this if you really want to know what the hell's going on. Okay. Oh, one other thing, actually. You do have your active abilities. These can also be turned into passives, and you have your passives over here, which is extra abilities to pay attention to. So, for me, this is just way too much to keep a tab on. If I was to dedicate my life to this game, then perhaps I could do that and keep an eye, but there's so bloody much here. And to know what your opponent has got, you only can see for a brief moment at the very start of the game, at the loading before the battle happens. You can see a picture of their abilities, but you'd have to memorize all of them, and there's no easy way to know what you're up against until you're already up against it, or you've already just been killed by it. So you can test your squad and go into a little battle scenario where you can use these abilities. So it does allow you to familiarize yourself with the abilities, but bear in mind that it plays a lot more differently when you're on the battlefield, particularly against another player, and it takes a lot of practice getting used to controlling 3 different people with all different abilities, especially if you're going to be swapping out those abilities all the time. So I did manage to complete one of my dailies, which was nice, because I stayed in the game all the way to the end, despite the loss, but if I won it, I would have also completed that as well. Let's have a look. So you got your train, you got the leaderboards, shows you the top 100. I think I'm 120 at the moment. Goes up to 100, so I'm actually outside of the leaderboards, so that's a good example. The tutorials there, so you definitely want to start off with that. Gives you a little bit of an idea on how the gameplay works, but you don't really get a feel for it until you've played against either the artificial intelligence or really another player to realize just how messed up things can get and how one-sided it can be sometimes. Like I say, fortunately that last game was a close game. I almost had it, but he was more powerful than me. Now, I don't know exactly how he kept getting more levels up on me, and it's hard to tell unless you watch. Now, I'm not sure if you can watch your replays, but you can certainly watch other players, so you can get an idea on how to play the game past that point. So there's ways to get tips and stuff like that to improve as a player, so perhaps I could watch that and learn. But like I say, aside from the build, you also just have to play. So the play has different modes that you just jump into and have a go at. Now let's open up some crates. Now, these crates, they are going to give me gear. Now this gear is going to be obviously used to put onto my classes, to my tanks, to my DPS, to my support, you name it, whatever it's going to be. And some of these gears are obviously going to be a bit better than others. And that's another problem that I have, is that there's a free-to-play element inside of a game which you already pay money for. So that is concerning, because we're going to look into that in a little bit. I'm just going to go through all of these crates and open them up. As you can see, they're all just little bits of gear that you put in your characters. I don't know if you can get any skins from these crates or anything like that, but there are skins for your characters, and I'll show you in a moment. Quantum Maya. So these little abilities that you put onto your characters changes the way your characters look as well as other cosmetics. So there's that to bear in mind. But really, you're taking these abilities because they actually have impact on the gameplay. They're not just cosmetic, but they also do have the cosmetic bonus, which is cool, I guess. Because you can make your tank look really silly or really beefy, depending on how you want to play the game or how you want to look. You might play the game and lose the game because of it. So, for example, we go back to build. I've got our tank here. Alter Ego. We can choose Sportsball Fires. So, of course, how do you get him? Well, I got him without paying any money. So far, I haven't paid any money into this game. And what happens is as you level up these characters, by the way, going back into the build, you level up your characters. He's currently level 5. She's level 4. He's level 5. And you have all these other different characters. Remember, 12 of them in total. So if I'd have to start playing a lot with Turbine here if I wanted to learn what it is that he can do. Now, what do I want to learn what it is he can do? Well, if I go into details, we can see here's his overview. There's the general abilities that he starts off with. But of course, you can flexibly create what type of abilities you want to use. But you also have blueprints here. Now, these blueprints, you get access to them through playing the game. So you level up your characters and you get access to these blueprints. Now, I, again, haven't put enough time in to know whether this ability is overpowered, for example. So do you have to level them up to the maximum ability, or is it just as good as any of the others? It's just how you sort of mix-max and combine your characters and your abilities to sort of get the most out of them. I don't know, but there is that. At least the progress is interesting, and it gives you a little bit more depth to the game. Of course, there's a little bit of lore to these characters, but I haven't looked too much into that. I'm not particularly much of a lore person. So, alter egos, skins. So, let's go and have a look at this store, shall we? So, we pull back and go to shop. Here's a featured. Now, you can purchase this with 1,000 gold coins. Now, the coins are earned through playing the game, so the dailies that I was doing, as you saw. However, these, I think they're called feds. I believe you pay real money for those. So you either spend 1,000 coins, which obviously take a little bit longer to get than just putting money or your details into a bank account. Your bank account details in and getting the money. So let's have a look, shall we? Okay. I don't want to pull back to that too much. So, yeah. You can either pay for real money or for this. Now, there are games, obviously, like League of Legends, stuff like that do this, but they already start off from free-to-play, so it is a little bit interesting, that. Now, pilots, you can obviously purchase pilots. This is probably a way to come back, though. What have you purchased the Squad Edition, which is, I think is like 20 quid or something like that. Let me check. Yes, it's $20. So perhaps you purchase that and you want to say, you know, I like this game, I'm going to play a bit more actually, so I'm going to purchase other characters. You might want to just do it with feds, get an extra tenner in there or something like that and get a couple more characters that you were interested in, or spend the time to do so. Now, of course, you can buy the crates. The crates are random. I believe they give you all sorts of gear. You don't know what you're going to get. Again, I haven't got a skin from them yet. I've opened all of those crates just now, as you saw. So, again, I don't know if there are skins to be had from these. But overall, that is the game. It's an RTS MOBA. You control 3 different characters. Each character has different characteristics, different abilities. They work on a QWER system, which makes it nice and easy to use. And you have tank, DPS, summoner, healer, and something like a mechanical character, I think. I'm not sure on those abilities, but of course, you find out about those abilities. You have a look. You say, oh, I want to swap my flamethrower with the ground pounder because that's got a stun ability, or it roots them and does damage. Or perhaps I want to change that to the pulse cannons. That's damages and stuns. It tells you all about the characters, their damage, their abilities, and that kind of stuff. Now, what if I wanted to go on one of those blueprints? Okay, well, let's have a look and see if we can do that. Here are the blueprints I've gathered so far through playing my characters. Now, say, for example, I really like this ability. Now, in order to get that blueprint, I'm going to need to break down some abilities. Or shall we call them blueprints? No, let's not call them blueprints, because I've actually already got them. Let's just still call them blueprints. I've already got. Now, this is where the crates come in. The crates give you pretty much anything. So you might get multiples of the same thing. So fortunately for me, I've got 2 of atomic welders. Well, of course, I only need 1. Unless I want 2 characters out of my 3 characters to have those atomic welders, because then I'll be down to 0. But let's say I only want 1 character to have it. That means I've got a spare, yeah? So we're going to chuck that in there. We're going to find another one here that we have 2 of. Evoker's Web. And another one that we have 2 of. Combat Rush. Now I can craft the Reciprocal Restoration. Now this is another ability, which of course you break down some of your other gear to get another piece of gear. Now this kind of reminds me of Hearthstone, where you get like a quarter of the value, if you see what I mean. If you got a legendary, say you got Jiraxis, he's a legendary card, and say for example you open a crate, which would be a card pack in Hearthstone, and you get another Jiraxis. Well, you've already got him, and you only need 1. You can only use 1, so you basically disenchant him. Now you disenchant him for 400 dust, whereas he costs 1600 dust to create. So you're getting, well, actually, is it? Uh-oh, gonna do math. Yeah, it works out. You're breaking down more to get less. You see what I mean? But that less might mean more in the long run if it benefits your team composition more. So again, I don't know how overpowered some of these blueprints are, which could cause big issues, and you're gonna have to play a lot to get all of this, or you can pay money, which a lot of people might be tempted to do so because there's so many blueprints and stuff like that. Again, it gives depth to the game, but at the same time it alienates new players because they find it way more difficult. Well, at least I'll speak for myself here. I find it a lot more difficult to get into the game because there's just too much. There's too much. Everything. It's not like you have one character, okay? Fies, he has these abilities. So next time I play against a Fies, I know exactly what abilities. No, the Fies that I'm playing against might have a flamethrower, he might have a black hole shell, he might have a sludge tanks for all I know. So you can change everything, which is great, but at the same time a nightmare because you don't know what you're up against until you die to it, basically. And it makes for some incredibly frustrating gameplay, and let me get back onto that. As you saw, I lost. I was not happy. I've lost a lot on this game. And I don't feel like it's from my own... Well, obviously there's some error there, but I feel like I've been robbed a little bit. And that's how you're going to feel. You're going to feel shit when you lose. Because this game, apart from that last game, all other games I've played, quite a lot of them, have been snowballs. Now, you know how MOBAs work, right? League of Legends or whatever. If someone gets massively ahead of you, they are going to, like, instead of taking 10 shots to kill you, say, for example, it takes you 10 hits to kill, they'll take 5 hits to kill you. And that's kind of how it feels. You go into these fights and you're like, I'm sure I should be doing better than I am, but I'm getting killed here and everything's dead, and now I've got to wait to get my heroes back whilst he's got control of the map. So, Snowball City. So yeah, it's so easy to get ahead of the other opponent on this game if you get a good early start. Now you can obviously use strategy to try to give yourself back into the game. Like I say, the summoner, she's good for solo creeping and stuff like that. So there's ways to go around it, but I feel like the game is very punishing for new people, and there's a lot to learn. Great for veterans and people that really want to get into the game, and fantastic. But you're going to have to put some real time into this one if you want to learn it. So that's the other issue, is will people last that long? Because there's a lot of MOBAs out there currently, and they're already very established. So will people make it to the point where they can actually get to that veteran status before they just rage quit out? I got to speak for myself. I'm rage quitting out. And again, thank you very much for the sponsorship. But I speak my own mind. I can't see myself putting too much time into this past this video, because I found it so freaking frustrating losing. I'm a competitive person. I don't like to lose, and when I lose to stuff I don't recognize, it gets even more frustrating, because then I know that I don't know what I died to, so then that makes it worse, because I don't know what I could have done better. And the only way to get better is obviously to put time into it. But I don't feel like putting the time into it, because I'm not being rewarded with all of these losses to learn the fucking game. So you can see a little bit of a devastating cycle going on here, which is really my hugest concern. I like a lot of what the game does and what it offers. I'm not a keen on the free-to-play aspect, and I think they've got around that a little bit by having different packages to get into. But yeah, it's definitely fun to play when you're winning, but it's hell to play when you're losing. Now, in MOBAs and stuff like that, you have someone else to blame. In team games, you don't have someone else to blame when you're playing your own solo. I play a lot of Warcraft 3 1 versus 1, and I get mad when I lose there, but I know why I lose there. In this, I've played for about 4 to 5 hours now, and I still don't know why I lose when I'm having these fights. When these fights go wrong, I don't know what the f is going on. And until I put 60 hours in, I'm not going to know. And I'm not going to put 60 hours in. I hate to leave on a negative, but those are my honest opinions. That is genuinely how I feel. I'm not holding back here. I'm not trying to be too polite about it. I think the game is cool. It's got some great features. And perhaps for someone like me, maybe 2 versus 2 or various different game modes might be more fun or more rewarding, less stressful. But I need the friends to play them with, and I don't have them on this game, and I don't know whether I would have friends on this game. It's almost getting philosophical right now. But yeah, it's interesting. It's got a lot going for it, but I don't like the free-to-play stuff that's mixed in there. I'd rather just have, like I say, there is the Commander package, but even with the Commander package, I've still got to break down... Sorry, I've got to stop doing that. I need to break down 3 or 4 abilities to create one, and there's still a lot of grinding to do. Again, that gives depth to the game, but it's not... I don't know. I play Heroes of the Storm. I stopped playing that because basically I couldn't stream and record it, but I actually did enjoy playing that, and that was much easier to get into for obvious reasons. But at least with that, even when your opponents had different talents that they could pick for their characters, you still recognise enough by looking at the tab what those talents did and how that would affect that character's gameplay. And this, when I see this tank coming towards me, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. And I don't feel like I'm giving time to learn it. And that is my problem, and that's my fault. So take that on board when I give this criticism. That's me. I could take the time to learn it. But at the same time, I've been affected by this where I don't want to learn to do this. So, again, take all of that on board and look into it yourselves. So all the video description will have it all below. And take care. Have a good one. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.